How's it going, everybody? This is going to be another Nintendudez podcast. I am Nick.
Mike.
And Travis.
How's it going, everybody? And we're going to be tackling a different topic today, obviously, because we're not going to do the same topic twice, or we might. You never know.
We should.
We should totally do it another one. What makes the game successful, guys?
We should redo our very first one, being about our predictions about the Switch.
Right.
We might do that later. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about the Battle Royale games, kind of like the new genre, focusing more on PUBG and Fortnite and games like that. And we're going to be talking about what we think that kind of genre of game is, where it is right now, where it plans to be going, and, the future of the genre all in all. But, so again, to start this off, I usually like to give a little bit of a background. So my background that I'm going to give is, to me, it seems like these Battle Royale games seem to have a very quick rise. And I'm going to relate these to rhythm games. And we all know our favorite rhythm games. We got our Guitar Hero, we got our Rock Band. And where are they now? Nowhere. It was a fad that rose quick and died fast just as well. And in my mind, I feel like just as fast as rhythm games got burned out, there's a couple reasons for that. And I mean, it also left a large amount of plastic instruments in random game stores. But I feel like something similar can happen to the Battle Royale genre. And that's my prediction so far, but I'm going to talk about that a little more in depth later. So in my mind, there are certain genres that can rise up, but they can die out, I guess. And I guess they can come back as well, like platformers and I guess puzzle games as well. But I don't really see this game having a rise, fall, and rise back up. I think that this is more of a quick rise and then maybe a quick decline. So, thoughts?
Well, I will say fads are fads, I think, because they're representative of the time period. Like when you talk about rhythm games, they came out at a time where there wasn't really all that much else. With Guitar Hero, the idea of like having an actual guitar in your hand and playing a game is super cool. But a rhythm game is actually really, really simple and really easy to do. You just push a button with the rhythm. And so I feel like that's the reason games like that wouldn't survive today, is because it's just too basic. I mean, Hatsune Miku is a great game and I love it, and I was super addicted to it for a while, but it was really simple and there was nothing to it. There was no story, no anything there, because it's just a rhythm game. To that same end, when you look at the Battle Royale games that are out now, I feel like those are games that are just trying to push what we already have, with like putting 100 people in a multiplayer battle and telling them to fight each other. I mean, that's really cool when you think about it, and the idea of it is crazy.
It's an amazing concept.
Yeah,
it's an amazing concept.
It's incredible. But I think that's why it's a fad. Is as cool as it is, there's not really a whole lot going on there. It's kind of just, let's put 100 people on a map and let them kill each other.
Don't worry, I have some thoughts on why I think it's a fad.
Right, but that's why I feel like it's gonna die. And there's another reason, I think, is because it's just so overcrowded at this point. People are just spewing these games out left and right. I don't even know where Fortnite came from, but I feel like it just pops up out of nowhere and is like, I'm this new free Battle Royale game that's out. And it's like, okay. And people fell in love with it and got addicted to it, mainly because it's free. And that's sort of what happened with PUBG. But I also want to mention a third game that absolutely got drowned out called Lawbreakers. And Lawbreakers works almost exactly the same way. And it was actually really popular and people liked it when it came out, but it just disappeared. And it's not really a Battle Royale game. I think it's also comparable to a game like Overwatch and stuff. It sort of falls in the middle there. It's just games like that get drowned out because of this. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening here. There's another game, and I'll let you talk while I look it up so I can figure out exactly what it is. But it's another sort of open world Battle Royale game that's getting drowned out in the same way that Lawbreakers got drowned out by Overwatch, where there's just so many of them that people are pumping them. They're getting boring. They're getting redundant. They all work the same. And it's like, what's the point? And eventually they're just going to disappear.
Yeah, no, that's some good points, and so this is one of the things I really want to talk to Travis about. Is before I bring in one of my big kind of points, and it seems like in my mind that these kind of Battle Royale games seem, at least to me, that they seem like a kind of a subset of the FPS genre. So Travis loves his FPS games, so I really want to, like, have you played a Battle Royale game, and if so, like, what'd you think of it? But otherwise, how do you think this relates to the FPS genre? And then I'll go from there.
It's been Actually, I don't have too much of the Battle Royale experience, but I do love me my first-person shooters because, it's just fun, murdering things with your bare hands, with a gun, with, anything, really. So, it's definitely got a strong connection because I know with, like, PUBG, you can grab, whatever gun in there, and then if you're good with that gun, you can actually murder people and live, whereas other people suck, so they just have to hide and hope they out-hide everybody else and get lucky for that last kill.
Right. Yeah, I know, Travis, I know you do not like that as well. Like, if you're going to play a first-person shooter game, that's a lame way to play it, right?
It is totally the way to play it, because the funny thing is when I'm playing, like, the campaign versus playing online, I am two very different playing styles.
Yeah.
When I'm online, I should be the sniper, and, you know, because the snipers are always OP as hell in Call of Duty, just because you can do the quick, you know, register hit thing, and it'll automatically hit them, and then since snipers have such high caliber, it's usually a 1-2 hit kill thing. But I am so bored with that. I hate just standing in one place, so I just grab, you know, the submachine gun, run away, and spray and pray, and it's great.
And that's
when I'm actually... Yeah, but then when I'm playing the campaign, I always love the stealth sniper missions, because I'm like, it's so cool because it's so much more tactical, and so I don't know. But for the most part, I am definitely more of the spraying down type of player, especially if I'm playing against other people.
Right. And I think that's one of the cool things about the Battle Royale genre, because it kind of is adapted that you can do both of those kinds of plays. And I mean, yes, it favors one over the other, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to ask Travis, because there are different ways to play first-person shooter games, and in a Battle Royale kind of setting, you can kind of use different first-person shooter tactics in there, and it's supposed to feel tactical. You're supposed to use strategy.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to ask the question. But first of all, Mike, do you have a point before I go into one of the big meat and potato points that I have?
Well,
I mean, no, I don't have anything. But Mike, do you have words?
I will say that, you know, to sort of cap this off, this might sound kind of weird and it might make people upset, but I think one of the best games that did this sort of Hunger Games style the best was Minecraft. The people that played it online, and I am not kidding. Because for
that 4-player thing that we did was actually super fun.
No, I am being 100% serious, because in Minecraft online, especially like PC, there was a mod mode that was called Hunger Games. And the way it worked is it was just like the movie Hunger Games, where people start off in like a center area and they can either run away or they can go to the middle and get a bunch of good items and weapons. So the people that choose to run and hide don't have any good weapons. So they're hiding and running from the action, but then when they run into someone, they're totally going to get wasted. Whereas the people that choose to embrace the combat and run in the middle get the good weapons, but they're the ones that have to fight for them. So there is sort of an incentive there to fight. In PUBG, there isn't that, because you find weapons by scavenging and looking at stuff, so you can hide and run and still end up with really good weapons. And so there is incentive to hide. Whereas in this Minecraft Hunger Game mode, if you run and hide, you're probably going to get obliterated eventually. So as weird as it sounds, and I know it sounds like I'm trolling people, I feel like Minecraft really did a good job of that in their Hunger Games mode.
Okay, no, I can actually see a lot of, there's a lot of merit to that. So here's one of the things that I was going to bring up, and this is one of my big points for one of the reasons why I had it. And I'm going to be talking about the popular games on Twitch now. So if we're going to talk about those popular games, some of the ones that are usually up there for like the most viewers on a normal day is like Dota 2, League of Legends, Rocket League, CSGO, and Hearthstone. Those games on Twitch have a pretty big competitive background. And this genre, in my mind, this Battle Royale genre, I don't get how we can ever do competitive. And the reason is, like, not even in teams. Like, even if you have teams, you have, like, maybe you might have some alliances and whatnot. But if you think of a typical kind of esports setting, you have one team, you have another team. Something like Overwatch. A team, equal footing, go. In the same way, you can both drop them in there, but what, are you going to have 50 teams going in on once, on, like, 2v2, making alliances and then backstabbing them and whatnot? In my mind, I don't think that's a really, like... I mean, it might be fun to watch for a couple times. I don't think it'll really develop a big competitive following going on like that. And other popular games that you see that are like say nowadays, if you think like Breath of the Wild and whatnot, I hate to say it, but I don't think Breath of the Wild is going to be as popular for a long time, even though it won Game of the Year. If it doesn't have a competitive background, or if it's not a new game, though, they're not really seen as the popular games on Twitch. Yes, this game can get a streaming following, and I can definitely see it happening, but in my mind, I feel like if it can't support a competitive community like this, yes, there's people who play it that like to be competitive, but if it can't support a competitive community like that, or get like an esports backing, I think this game will fade off. And that's one of the things that I think will happen. I don't know when. I think it still has a longer lifespan, but as these games keep getting developed, and again, you didn't see it happen with rhythm games until you saw an over amount of, or more and more games come out. Like when you saw like Guitar Hero 3, in my mind, was almost perfect. Then when you saw Guitar Hero 4, Then you get like Guitar Hero 4, Guitar Hero 5, you get like the Rock Band 2, and I lost interest. The fad kind of died out for me, and I still love playing those games, but there's no following for it. You don't see Rock Band on Twitch anymore. It's just, it just doesn't happen. And I think Twitch is one of the ways where you can develop that community. And yeah, you might have some popular streamers play it, but I don't think it can really support it if it doesn't have an esports following. And I don't think it'll ever get an esports following. That is controversial. I would like to hear people's thoughts on that. If it's in the comments, or you guys, honestly. What do you think?
I will say Battle Royale games, I feel like, could easily last forever. Because I don't even know if it's the esports thing necessarily that's messing it up. Because you're right, I think it's impossible to do this genre for esports. But I don't think that's going to mess it up. Because you can't really do, like you said, where you have 2 versus 2 versus 2, like with 50 different teams. It's weird. But when you mention the idea of like, oh, they form alliances and stuff, that could actually be fun to watch sort of in its own setting, where like, oh, you watch 2 of your favorite YouTubers sort of joining and see who they align with and see stuff, almost like a reality TV show in PUBG. That mentality could be actually really fun and really cool to watch.
As a concept for a video or two, but I don't think it's going to be like a series kind of thing.
Well, I don't know, because like I've seen some YouTubers that will do like a hardcore type series that's sort of based around that, and those tend to be kind of popular. You're right, it depends, and I don't think it'll ever be like an actual competitive thing, but I could see people sort of using that to keep the series alive, and that's the fun in just playing it overall. You know, as you sort of play PUBG and you find people that you might be able to work with or be able to kill or stuff. I think that's why people enjoy those games. The problem is we haven't seen it at its peak, because as we've mentioned,
that's true.
PUBG is still a preview game. It's not finished. Fortnite, like I said, I don't know where it even came from. And then the third game that I was thinking of is the Darwin Project. Again, an uncompleted game that's in beta. And so Battle Royale games, I feel like, are just being thrown out there, like I said. So we don't even know what the genre can be. And as long as people keep doing this, it's going to be the death of the genre, because no one's making a complete Battle Royale game. They're all just sort of coming out half-assed.
No, I'm with you. I mean, at least, no, I think you have a lot of truth of, from what you say, because none of these games are finished, and I mean, you've already seen the popularity for them, even though they're not finished. Like, I mean, PUBG still is still going through testing and whatnot, and once we see like an actual finished game, I think we'll have more of a basis to actually like look at this genre on. But I don't know, the more and more that I think about it, I mean, again, it can live on in Twitch for a while, which is nice, but I think the competitive nature of it goes away after like time, unless you have some other reason to keep watching. Like Overwatch has leagues where you have actual dedicated teams for it. Smash Bros has tournaments. You have CSGO with tournaments. Rocket League has professional players as well. All these games, even Hearthstone is one of the games that has a ton of people watching it time after time, just because of the fact that, like, actually, I really don't know. I don't know Hearthstone, but there's people watching Hearthstone. But it's just, I think it's just another, at least in my mind, I just think it's another fad that once people start moving along to another kind of new thing in the gaming space, I think people will just move along with it. Because a lot of people who jumped into this Battle Royale genre jumped into it fast, and it's not a kind of a game that they keep playing, at least in my mind, from the people who I've talked to, just people who, I don't know, who are still around where I live and people who play video games. They've said, oh yeah, I played PUBG for a little while. I went back to Civ 5 pretty fast. It's really fun for a couple of times, but if you're walking around for 20 minutes, you don't see anybody, I'm sorry. That's just boring in my mind.
Yeah. Well,
that's what
your earlier point, I think I might disagree with, and I think I would cite like Mario Kart as my example, or like a series like Gran Turismo, because you say like, oh, it won't have people watching on Twitch, but I would argue like Mario Kart is not up there either, but that is like the most successful racing franchise. But people don't really tune in to watch that as much unless they're trying to join someone's room or something. But like you said, in the scheme of things, it's nowhere near like Dota or Hearthstone or right now where PUBG is. I feel like watching it on Twitch is one thing, but like you said too, with Breath of the Wild, eventually people are going to stop watching it, but Legend of Zelda is never going to die. You know, it's a franchise that's going to live on because it's fun to play. And I think at the end of the day, whether or not it's fun to watch on Twitch is almost irrelevant. I think it matters more, obviously, if it's fun to play. And I think the Battle Royale series is fun to play if it's done correctly. It might not be fun to watch competitively for a while, but I think it's still fun to play on its own, kind of like Mario Kart. It's fun to watch people play it for a while, but eventually the chaos and the mayhem, it can sort of get redundant and repetitive. But playing it never really gets repetitive. I mean, we still all play it to this day. And it's a franchise that's been out since the SNES. So clearly, even though it's been doing the same thing, it's not dying. So I don't think you necessarily have to have an esports competitive scene for your multiplayer game to be successful, as long as it's just fun to play casually. And I think PUBG almost caters more to the casual audience because there's a lot more funny moments. I don't really see people that take PUBG seriously. I think people sort of do teams, they get into dumb stuff, they sort of form squads and stuff. But at least from what I've seen, I've never seen a hardcore PUBG player. Now, again, if it goes that route, then I see there's a lot more merit to your point, because I don't think it can hold up on that. I think as long as the Battle Royale series realizes what it is, it's sort of a casual, fun-to-play game, then I think it has a chance at lasting longer. But I agree. It definitely should not take it to a competitive level.
Yeah, I guess you kind of have a point on that too with the Mario Kart thing. In my mind, I was thinking so much of an FPS background and like rhythm games and whatnot. But yeah, in that way of like if you look at it through like the racing game standpoint, people will want to tune in and see how you're doing, especially if like you're a good player and whatnot, and even want to play with you more than anything. One of the reasons why these streamers are really popular and whatnot is because even if it's not the game that people want to watch, they want to tune in to watch what they're playing. And if they have a chance, if there's a big game to play, they want to play it with them. So even just knowing if they're in the same room, I think that would be super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, even though, I don't want to bring up the one bad stream that we've had, but like we've had streams where we had people just pop in and just really want to join us for just because like, hey, it's fun to do it with other people. It's more of a social aspect, if anything. It doesn't have to just be the fact that it doesn't have a competitive following. So I guess I would say in my mind I retract that kind of the competition, but I will say if it wants to continue on as that, I don't think it has enough backing or it has enough substance to make it to take the extra step to make it into one of like the CSGOs or the Leagues or the Hearthstones or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
A game that will become like an esport for a long time unless they decide to come out with another one.
Yeah, I will say I've noticed like there's two types of videos. I'll see like PUBG like top awesome kills, and those videos are boring as heck to watch. But then there's a lot more like PUBG funny moment videos, and those tend to be a lot more fun and lighthearted. I think it has to embrace the casual audience more than the competitive audience. Battle Royale games I don't think will ever be competitive. I agree with you on that. I think it has to focus on the casual side of it.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Travis, sorry, do you want to chime in on any of these points?
Let's see. I know me as someone who's highly competitive, I laugh at esports most of the time. It's weird. Like, for me, my experience in video game competition is the more competitive the other person is trying to be in it, the less competitive I try to be in it, because it's kind of me more or less just trolling them.
Yeah.
Because like League of Legends, I already knew big esports. I immediately was like, I do not care. I'm just going to like spam what I think is fun.
You just described
whether or not. So it's like, so I definitely, because I watch like one League of Legends player, like he's really good, but I don't watch him because he's good. I just think his commentary is funny, so he appeals to me because I'm more of a casual gamer in that sense. And then, like for Twitch viewers, sure, like all of the like best of the best will always have a big following because it's like, oh, look what this person's doing. This is how I can be better.
Yeah, you want to learn from them and you want to get better. Yeah.
So like I can easily see the like PUBG having like different streamers be like, oh, this person is like the best with the sniper, so maybe I want to be a sniper, so I should like watch this guy to like learn how to be that kind of player, and then like this guy is more of a stealthy, I'm just gonna like hide in the rocks and then come out of nowhere and assassinate you type of player.
Right.
So like I can still see like not necessarily like the competitive scene, but still have it be like relative on Twitch where you'll still have like certain channels just because you're like, okay, this person is good at this, because like that's how League of Legends is. It's like this person is an ADC main, so if you're wanting to learn how to play an ADC, you watch him.
Yeah.
Like,
well, League also has a lot more. League also has a lot more money given to them. So
yeah. Oh yeah. But like that's what I'm saying, because I can definitely see that there is a like demand for like the PUBG type thing, but since like what we have said that there isn't an actual complete game, if one of them were either to complete their game in a good way, or like a game such as what we were saying, takes the idea from the Minecraft form of the games, and like, you know, just improved the graphics and like expanded the map and all that kind of stuff, then I can easily see it becoming at least a relevant game compared to the rest, just because. But then again, that's also coming from me, who competition in video games just isn't as high for me, unless if I'm playing split screen with you guys.
That's fair.
Then it's real.
Like, I'm an asshole to you because you know I'm better than you.
Okay. All right.
Well, I guess. Well, yeah, we'll keep that in our memory. But I mean, yeah. I guess I kind of changed a little bit of my mindset as we were making the video, but I'm with you. But I will say, at least in my mind, I still don't see. It would be nice to see if I'm wrong, which I probably am. But I don't think that it's going to live on as much as people think so. Just because I mean, if you see something rise as fast as it does, I feel like it's gonna have a big fall, or when it happens, to see if it can recover.
Yeah.
So in my mind, when I see things rise up like the battle royale genre, I think, if it embraces the casual audience, if it really keeps it there, if it literally knows what it is and it doesn't try to change that, I think it can be amazingly successful. I don't think it'll be able to get the numbers of viewers like some of these other games have. I mean, they might have that, like, a really high amount of viewers now, but I don't think it'll be able to sustain it over time like these other games can, without that kind of money being poured into it, or maybe like some kind of company advertising for this one streamer or something like that. Or there really isn't a way to tell who the best like PUBG player is, because it's kind of weird because you are on equal footing, and you're not at the same time. But those are my thoughts.
I will say this, and I'm not even disagreeing with you, because I don't know how I came off, but my prediction actually is in line with yours, because I don't think this genre will survive very long either. Because, though, I don't really have faith in the developers of these games.
Oh, okay.
And by that, I mean, like, I feel like they're just starting to barf this stuff out just to get it out because it's the new popular thing. And I feel like we're going to end up going into an era where there's going to be so many Battle Royale games that are just trash. And it's going to turn people off to that. If we can avoid that, I think it would be good. The thing I would say is I think this Battle Royale fad is going to be a branch to other awesome things. Because like we said at the beginning, it's incredible when you think about it, throwing 100 people into a world that they're free to explore and fight and have one person come out on top. I think that can sort of be a base for other things that we can't even really discuss yet, you know? Someone's going to look at PUBG and say, I like this idea of 100 people. Let me do it this way, you know, and tweak it and turn it. And I think there's a lot of beauty in that. This sort of massive online multiplayer game that's not just like World of Warcraft, you know? It's sort of an MMO that has sort of a goal. And I think we can sort of build off the Battle Royale series and go somewhere new. I'm just worried that developers are going to try to rush and capitalize on this, because like, I can't imagine Nintendo making a Battle Royale game. If they did, I think it would be incredible. But
Mario, Waluigi, like Battle Royale game? Oh, dude, that'd be cool.
Like, that would be awesome. Or like Sega doing it, or Microsoft or something. It's just, the Battle Royale series seems like something that only indie developers would really want to touch anyway, you know? And so because of that, I just don't think it's going to be able to stand on its legs for long. No, if I'm wrong, and some major company like co-develops or works with a game like this that puts out a full-fledged awesome game, then I think it can survive and move on. I just honestly don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Travis, do you want to have any final points before we close this out?
I think we've covered everything that I would have said. So
sweet.
All right, cool. We are going to be done with the podcast. Comment section below. Use it. Please let us know what you think. If you have any topics for us and you want to see us tackle, that'd be awesome as well. Otherwise, what is your opinion on the Battle Royale genre? If you play it a lot and think it's going to go far, please let us know. Otherwise, this is Nick.
Mike.
And Travis.
Bye, everyone.
Adios.
Bye.
Are we going?